I know no one is wondering, but I have had a couple people reach out and ask why my stream from yesterday isn't available, and because I need to edit some stuff out of it. Not really anything. There's the stuff I got emotional, like I got really emotional and broke down, so I need to take it out. So that's why it's not up. That's why it's all yesterday's stream was unpublished and it's hidden, because I need to edit that stuff out from me breaking down. It's not that I don't want it on the internet. I just don't want it. I just don't want it being used against me. I don't care if people make fun of me and use it just me, but I don't want it used as ammo. Because a lot of people will use stuff like that as ammo against somebody. And I'm just gonna edit the stuff out. But here in a little bit I'll be taking off to actually pick my supplies and stuff up today, because I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I should be able to. I got an email telling me that out the bookstore financial aid. And so, and a lot of the stuff I say too, people assume that like, just because I'm in school and I take financial aid doesn't mean I plan to screw taxpayers and the government and all that. And the whole reason for me going back into school to get a degree to do what I want to do is because no one hires anybody without a degree. Yeah, there are jobs that need a degree, but why am I constantly having to be one of the ones that has to take up the jobs to take up the space, to be the help that pays down the national debt? Why is it that I'm everybody else wants to choose that kind of life, that life? That's fine. I don't have anything against people that choose 9 to 5 work, monotony, mediocrity, things like that. I don't fault anybody for wanting to choose that. I'm not good at that. I struggle in continued purpose and stuff like that, because once I become an expert in those jobs, I don't plan to move up. I'm in things that I'm not good at. I don't have any goals past using it as a stepping stone. Like, put it this way, if I work for your company, it's not because I want you to thrive and grow and be some great company. I would like that. It would be great. I like working for companies that are very successful, organically successful. They don't have to lie, cheat, and steal for that success. I would love to work for a company like that. But that really doesn't exist. That's not a reality of a lot of companies that people end up working at. It's not. I'm not one of these people that have a very limited skill set. I have a wide range of skills that I'm good at. I might be whatever that analogy is, jack of all trades, master of none. But a lot of people miss the rest of that. there's a very important piece of that people seem to forget. This is the full saying. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of none, master of one. And that means that just because you like to learn a multitude of things, a cornucopia of things, doesn't mean you're never going to be good at one thing. And as a matter of fact, oftentimes you will be better than someone who's only mastered a single thing. Because in a lot of instances and cases, the person that is adding variation to their skill set isn't just learning the entry point to one of them. We learn enough to where boredom and predictability start setting in, and then we want to find something else. And that's what the jack of all trades is. The jack of all trades is the person who can learn something enough to where it starts to become boring and predictable. And then we want to find something else that's not boring and predictable. So we find something else that's not boring and predictable. I don't even know where I was going with that and where it came from. But this is why I work regular jobs, but I work them until they grow mentally and it's otherwise mentally stale. When I can otherwise predict things that are happening in the job and there's no variation, there's nothing changing, then I become very I don't know, I get stir crazy. Because that's about the time when the boredom and the predictability start setting, and not really start setting in, when I start to notice it. And it's super early. And that's what cracks me up when people try to diagnose me with things and tell me I need this and do that. And you don't know the amount of time it usually takes for me to get down here to the boom. You haven't seen all of this in between. All you've seen is you've seen me here at one point, and you don't remember when you took your eyes off me, but all of a sudden you heard boom and you look over and there's me. You have no idea who's been packing all the explosives in, who's been lining the cable, who's been setting up the firing mechanisms, got the primer charged, ready to go, positive, negative, red light. You don't know all of that that's taken place in between. All you know is at the end when somebody hits the trigger. It's why I'm so very against the whole Karenism idea. Inserting yourself into somewhere with no idea what's going on. That's why I said on Facebook earlier, it was a pretty lengthy post. The first one was lengthy, but the reply, because all the idiots I seen trying to comment with zero knowledge and training and actual expertise in what they're talking about, trying to tell me, who was trained in the stuff and trained to use the stuff, they're trying to tell me how things work. Stop sticking yourself in a place you have no clue what you're talking about. And you'll never gain it from Call of Duty. You'll never gain it from some mystery crime podcast, YouTube series. I like to pretend I'm an internet detective, but no, I've actually been trained in some of the aspects of what it takes to investigate things. Visual analysis, audio analysis, speech analysis, somebody's movements, even the certain slight movements from somebody who law enforcement talks to can be perceived as something within law enforcement training. That's because they are guaranteed key indicators of certain things that are happening or going to happen. It's what you fucking learn when you're trained in these positions. Hey, I hear you. I hear with you with what you're doing, guy. Come here. Come get this and stop fiddle cracking around with that. I'm gonna put a little something or other down there. You know, I have to figure out what, but put something down there, and you're not gonna want to be down there. Well, you will. Put one of those bats down there. Can't dig a bat. You will chew on it. It's like a damn beaver. But most of you have no idea what you're talking about. So please stop. Please stop with the I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I watched 13 separate YouTube crime videos in a row before I came to watch this. Like, you guys really have no idea what you're talking about. You won't be able to learn the finer details of what you need to know to actually be able to analyze this shit. You can analyze it from a 50,000 foot view, but that's all you can do. You have no knowledge of what's actually going on. So just like yesterday when I was talking about they said that those law enforcement guys threw tear gas at them. Like, everything's tear gas. It's like before, everything was an assault rifle and a machine gun. Now every single thrown canister from law enforcement is tear gas. Again, you guys have no idea what you're talking about. And then somebody in the comments was like, it was a flashbang. Flashbangs don't, like, if you would have said a concussion grenade, something that does a concussive force, yeah, I could see that blowing the airbags out of a car if it hits a certain point in the car. But you're not going to throw it inside and it's going to deploy the airbags. It's not how it works. Maybe a concussion grenade. That's if it causes the impact to jolt the vehicle as if it might roll over. A vehicle's airbags, for them to deploy, there's a chemical reaction. You know that, folks. You know that, right? There's a chemical reaction that happens that blows those airbags out of their compartments. It's not just impact and for your safety we're going to deploy this pillow. No, there's certain circumstances have to happen that causes a chain of events. One of them, in a collision of a vehicle, is the deployment of an airbag. And that's because there are sensors set up to detect a certain point of kinetic energy and the collapsing of it. Like, if you've ever watched any of the I don't know, hitting a wall at 100 miles an hour videos back years ago on YouTube, there used to be strings of videos where they were showing what it looked like when vehicles are impacting high impact stuff at high speeds. That's what they do for airbag testing. They test all the sensoring. Hey, no. That is one you won't be able to be messing with. That one is a no. I would much rather you chew on a box than get up under there. Here, you that. No. There's a reason there's a cage around it. In those videos, they show a lot of what goes into vehicle manufacturing when they test airbag systems, because that's what an airbag for an airbag bag to deploy. There's sensoring that tells the vehicle it needs to go into safe mode, safe and preservation mode, which is what airbags are for. They're the safe preservation mode. And they're not going to deploy if somebody throws a tear gas canister, a flashbang, and the concussion grenade or something like that would have to cause an impact to the front of the vehicle that would trip all of those sensoring. And it wouldn't. Now you got to remember, it's all a chemical reaction, and it all runs by sensors. There's sensors that run up and down the vehicle. If your vehicle is equipped with side airbags, back airbags, bubble machine, there are sensors that tell all of that when it's time to do its job. And a flashbang will not set that shit off. I'm sorry, bud. You might catch a small little jolt from the detonation of a flashbang, but you won't get a concussive force like you will from a concussion grenade. Something that's meant to knock everybody the hell down. Because those do exist. They blow the windows out of everything. And again, it also goes back to, why the hell were you down in that area with your children to begin with? That's narrative pushing. So shut your ass up. You know what you're fucking doing, lady. I don't want to fucking hear it. You know exactly what you're doing. You put your family at risk for a narrative because I think you were paid to. I've seen you. I know what you look like. I've seen the video of you. You look exactly like the same retarded ass people that are down there in those areas. So you put your children in that situation, and therefore you don't you don't deserve to have your children anymore. Somebody smarter and better than you that'll actually give them a life worth living should be able to raise those children. I don't give a fuck if they're white, black, purple, green, orange, yellow, fucking fuchsia. Fucking make them clear. I don't give a shit. But that retarded bitch doesn't deserve to raise children. And I bet you $1 million fucking dollars the bitch is on welfare. I bet you she's on welfare. Coming back from a basketball game, my ass. It's so convenient. You're coming back from a basketball game with the millions of other routes around the city, but you chose the one that goes straight through a protest. Well, the gym was next to the protest. I'm sure you decided, okay, guys, the protest is here now. We probably should leave before we get wrapped up in it. No, you knew what you were doing. You were going to try to use your vehicle and your kids as a shield and a weapon. So don't pretend like you're some innocent bystander. They were going to basketball. No, I can promise you put your children in harm's way. And after seeing your face, I almost can guarantee it. Almost guarantee it. And you can throw the skin color shit at me all you want, but we all know that's another fucking narrative push. And anybody who wants to use that shit as part of the narrative, you're just as bad as them. You're just as bad as the people that are impeding fucking law enforcement. Like, it's insane. They're acting like the soldiers are walking up and down the streets in a single or in a line. No, they're not. They're driving around in vehicles, going to specific locations where targets are. Those are targets for a mission. An extraction and deportation mission. You all standing in between that Sound like the wall to me. You're shielding crime and criminals and scummy, scammy people that would otherwise rape and murder you. At that rate, you want to protect them? You get to take them into your home. You get to take them into your home. Please take them into your home, because I would love to see the news reports afterward. I'm not wishing ill will on you. You're wishing it on yourself. Don't be mad when it happens, when something bad happens to you from one of these people. Because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When. It's a time constraint thing. They've been up here for 20 years. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. They don't travel to and from the country of crime, not committing crime. Because if you've illegally got up here, you know how to legally get to and from. It's just, you don't get up here once and that's it. Because coyotes exist, but you don't otherwise see ICE really going after the people that coyotes have pushed across the border. Because coyotes most likely make them disappear. They steal their money, make them disappear. What do they say? No body, no crime. So as long as the coyotes make them disappear, nobody will be able to say that they're bad guys. So they'll be able to keep doing what they do. So I'd say a very small percentage of people make it across the border using coyotes. So most of the people that are coming across the border illegally, they're an invasion force. You are an invasion force, embedding yourself here to gain numbers for when the time is right, you think you can take over. You think you can do it better. We'll see. We'll see how that works out for all of you. Again, don't be stupid. Don't put your children in places that they shouldn't be in. Don't put yourself in a place you know you shouldn't be in. If you want to fight for a true cause, then, well, you can't. Going over to Iran right now, I mean, it's pointless now. They've lost. Those people have lost. They didn't do the one thing that they should have done, and that's challenge the internet thing. And if they weren't going to relent on the internet thing, because it should have taken 24 hours. I said it the other day, give them a 24-hour window to put the internet back online, or then you go in. Then you go in with your best operators, because their entire army, police force, security force, whatever the hell they want to throw at somebody, stands negative chances against our best operators. And our best operators aren't an entire battalion of people. I mean, they probably are, to be honest with you. You don't hear about the best operators in our military. Rightfully so, you don't hear about them. You don't hear about the missions they do. You just hear about the documents that they're involved in being declassified. But the Iranian people lost. I'm sorry that your fight has come to naught, but they've lost. It's been silent for a couple days now, for like 4 or 5 days. Their internet's not restored. If there's supposedly everything was so under control there, the internet wouldn't still be off. But it does take time to dig and bury a mass grave worth of people. So unfortunately, the fight that all of you Karens could have been fighting, they've lost. You could have been echoing the same thing I've been saying. Get their internet restored. Allow them to tell what's happening, regardless of what side's telling it. And the fact that they've still kept the people silent speaks volumes to me. And the fact that our Karens here didn't turn their sights to people that could use the voice, because they've been trying to echo it from there. Some of us here have been trying to echo it back to here. Again, I said it yesterday. I mean, it's hidden, and only people that were present yesterday for the entire time would have heard it. Except for YouTube, it's on YouTube. It's just not listed on YouTube. They just do. They obviously do their checks and stuff, regardless of, because I can share the link to people and they can watch it. But no, I said it yesterday. I have one little fluffy guy that means more to me than anything. But going over to not be a hero, but to do what part of my life's purpose is, and my life's purpose is to be a soldier in some way, shape, or form. I didn't absorb and train and get ready to use to the maximum extent all of that stuff just because I wanted to attend college. No. Matter of fact, when I joined the military, it was in 2006. 2006. It was like November 19th, 2006, 4 days after my 21st birthday. Yeah, it was after Afghanistan, main push, Iraq, main push. But, I mean, being a soldier is part of what I wanted to do. I wanted to walk in the footsteps of my grandfather. I didn't know the circumstance of his service, but I knew he got medals. He got a Purple Heart and some other medals. I can't remember. My dad's got all of his medals. I wanted to be like that. I wanted to defend the land in which I was born, regardless if I agreed with any of it or not. I wanted to defend it. Wanted to defend it. Wanted to fight for it if I needed to. But I didn't join at 18 because it wasn't something that my mom would have much rather me go to college and use my brain instead of throw myself at war. She didn't really agree with anything that was going on. And yeah, I was 18. I could have made my own choices. But I was one of those kids that like wanted to make my parents proud, wanted to be go into a profession that wasn't getting my head shot off. So I did the first year of college thing. I realized I sucked at it. I didn't suck at it. Just a lot of shit happened, and it like destroyed my drive and my focus. I let myself just go into my head and stay there for the entire time. I got into a car accident that damn near destroyed my car. Got put on painkillers that destroyed my entire drive. I slept more than I ever slept in my life in that time. I went back, decided I wanted to play football. I wanted to go back into the football thing and do the football thing again. I was still huge and stacked. Not as much because I hadn't really worked out and was just eating everything I saw. But I was still huge. I was still big. So we started doing football. I was doing really well, and then I just got smashed in my back, and yeah, it jacked me up. The doctor said it punctured the muscle that's in my back, which is why it was hard for me to breathe at times, because it was pressing against my lungs. Which he was right. It was, breathing was super painful for a while. So I had to leave football. I couldn't do football no more because it was like end up in a wheelchair or be able to walk. So I quit football. And I got depressed, really depressed, because I felt like I had no purpose from there. I didn't really enjoy accounting and all that stuff. I liked the math and the numbers and getting to know the deeper sides of money and the scary world of accounting. Because it's super easy for an accountant to get caught up. Super easy. And it's very easy for them to get caught up in the prospect of making tons of money too. So, and I didn't really know anything about the whole change your program into something else, because I wanted to do the computer art and design. I let somebody kind of sway me from it, because they said, well, you'll make more money doing stuff with accounting and money than you will with art. So I was like, oh, that's logical. I don't want to be poor my whole life. So I chose accounting. The worst decision I ever made. It was a terrible decision. And it's not because accounting's bad. It's not for me. It's not for me. I'm very analytical and love analyzing things and doing research, but nah, accounting's just not for me. It's not my caliber of stuff to do. Like I said, I felt like I failed at the college thing. I feel like I wasn't good at it, but I am good at it. I wasn't good at doing what I was doing. I was just and not having much guidance, because neither of my parents went to college. I was the first one in my entire family to go to college. First one. I'm the first one to graduate with a college degree too. And I'll be the first one with 2 when I'm finally done. Even if I only finish out Columbus State and end with an associate's degree in communication, I'm pretty much I hold myself as not the role model of my family, but if I'm failing at things, how can I tell my family and the younger generation in my family, that they themselves can do whatever they set their mind to? How do they believe that when I have 2 degrees and still fail, no matter how hard I try? Just coughing, bud. Coughing. Little dude. He loves leaving his little fiber nuggets around. Not really. He's really good. Like, he'll leave most of his nuggets, if they're not in the box, they'll be kind of strewed about within his little pee pad area. This little guy is really good at the potty train thing. My little guy is very potty trained. The ladies at the place were really worried about him. Like, worried so much so that they gave me a second pad for him, which fine with me. I would have ended up wanting to get another one anyway, because he digs at the ground a lot. So I'd rather him digging at the pad than digging at the carpet. That's what he does. They're burrowing creatures. Likes to burrow. So if you leave them unattended for too long, well, not really unattended. It's just like you got to cover your corners. You got to hide your corners. Where your wall meets your carpet. You got to hide that. Now, if you don't mind them messing with your curtains and your drapery that hangs on the ground, then that's whatever. But when it comes to all of your corners and stuff, well, he does every so often. He will go like in the middle of the floor and try to rip it up. But I think he does that because he's mad and he's trying to show me he's mad at me. He wants me to put something in his bowl for him to eat, and he's mad, and it's like his way of throwing a tantrum like a toddler. But yeah, you gotta cover all your corners, your wall meeting the carpet, on the ground, the carpet in the corners of the wall corners. You gotta cover them too. Anywhere where he can get behind and there's a corner, like letting him get behind things is fine and dandy, but you gotta kind of ensure he's not going to go at some of the corners and the carpet that's in that area. That's why I blocked off him going in behind the hutch, because he's been back there digging out of prison. Where you? What are you digging to? The next apartment. Don't come apart on me. But no, it's just what those kind of creatures are. They like corners and spaces where they can tuck away and just kind of like just chill. Just floof out and chill. Yeah, he'll sit and mess with the curtain. If I let him go with the curtain and don't really do anything, he will dig at this thing for hours. And then once he gets tired, he'll flop. And I found a little thing that he really loves playing with. He loves playing with a microfiber towel. I pulled a microfiber towel out of my laundry basket, and he ran at it, started growling and banging on it. He started attacking it. He did, and I pulled it up, like, "What are you doing, man?" And he just looks at me. He sees it in me holding it up in the air, and I put it back down, and he's like, just like a dog, he goes right back at it, growling and attacking it, throwing his paws against it, trying to rip it out of my hands. And I'm just laughing hysterically in the bedroom, like, dude, you are out of control, my goodness. And then I find doing laundry, one of my strings and one of my hoodies got pulled out, and he caught wind of it. You know how anytime I grab a hold of it, he'll grab the other end and then try to take off running and try to yank it out of my hand. So he likes a little bit of tug of war, and it's absolutely the cutest little thing I've ever seen. I love him. Can we not chew on the floor, bud? Hey, not gonna do that, dude. Okay? No, you didn't. Yo, bro. No, get out of there. He went behind the curtain. Now he's trying to draw it. He's trying to draw the curtain so I can't see him. Hey, no. Hey. I put my hands around his backside. He binkied up like, whoa, we're not going to do that. That's not our relationship, man. Oh, now I know how to get him to stop doing bad stuff. Like, wrap my hands around his butt. Like, whoa. He did not like that at all. He thought it looked like he thought I was playing because he binkied up right over my hands. And he stopped and was like, yeah, to be honest, I would make my whole entire YouTube channel just live streaming, playing with him all day. Not even gonna lie, because the things he does when you play with him, they're hilarious, and it's some of the cutest things I've ever seen. Like even when I go to stop him from chewing on my shoes and the doormat, stuff like that, he turns it into a play. He turns it into playing. What are you doing, man? He's sitting on the shoes, looking for one to chew on. He loves chewing on rubber things. I don't know why. He really likes chewing on rubber stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready to go and do things. So I will be back in a few. I'll be back in. Hopefully, that's unless my internet gets turned off before I can try to do the things I want to do.